All right, YouTube. So, Chris Collins, he is going to be suspending his re-election campaign, and just a lot of things come to mind about this. So, politically, it's not that big of a deal because that is a very reliably red district. I think it's the 26th or 27th district, and it's like right outside of Buffalo, so upstate New York, very working class. A lot of manufacturing up there, I'm sure. So it's not that big of a deal. The Republicans aren't that worried about it, and that's why people aren't necessarily clamoring for him to resign, because it wouldn't really matter. A special election wouldn't really do them much good because they just get a Republican in there, honestly. I guess there's some technicality issues here because they're saying that it's really hard to remove a candidate's name from the ballot this late in the race. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, honestly, and that's the political aspect about it. Morally speaking, I'm thinking, the folks that are in the deep state are guilty of much worse, not only just committing, but enabling and everything else. So it's like, guys like Manafort, Chris Collins, Michael Flynn, probably shady characters in nature, but not necessarily like the evildoers in the deep state, in my opinion. So, and it makes sense, Chris Collins is a pro-Trump Republican. He had a pro-Trump caucus before the election. I think it was the Make America Great Again caucus or something, so total pro-Trumper. And he was actually on CNN. The video that's going to be in the description, is from CNN. So, funny story, he was on CNN almost 2 years ago. Jeez, it's been 2 years already with Trump in office. But no, basically he was on CNN and he was said something along the lines of like, Hillary Clinton's a liar, she can't be trusted, and we're seeing this from the WikiLeaks documents and everything, and then he gets cut off. And it was just, all very shady. It's like, oh yeah, obviously they cut him off because he was talking about Hillary. Like, any person with a objective mindset would see that and be like, yeah, fuck, obviously he got cut off. So that was a pretty good take. I'm going to end it on that. I just don't think it's, politically it's not that big of a deal. The Republicans are going to not only maintain control of that district, but probably maintain control of the House, honestly, because they just have a stronger message, honestly. The Democrats, look, I think if the Democrats maybe embrace tax cuts, which they're not doing, they would at least have a chance. But with the lack of that, and they're just, in my opinion, batshit rhetoric, it's they're destined to fail in the midterms, honestly. So that's why they're fingering guys like Collins, because they want to get as much as they can. It's a really crappy strategy, honestly. If you're going to go after a guy like Collins, like, I probably shouldn't be giving them advice, but anyways, just saying, like, they're just losing. They're losers. They're losers in every single instant or whatever. It's just it's funny, but it's really hard to watch, and it's really pathetic, honestly. The Democrats are really pathetic. If they had more guys like Connor Lamb, and maybe like if Trump was a Democrat, because Trump is a Democrat at heart, I think they'd probably at least have a shot. And honestly, I think the Democrats are probably pretty pissed off that Trump didn't run as a Republican, or excuse me, as a Democrat. They probably felt a little left out because they're looking at it like, the Democrats, they're the party of the cool people and the celebrities and everything. And for the most part, that was true, especially during the Bush years and maybe even during the Clinton years. Especially during the Bush years, because of how incompetent Bush was as a president, and just of how terrible of a person he is, and his regime and everything, or his regime, basically. He was a terrible president, and that's not to be forgotten. Yeah. All right, man. All right, guys, rather. Oh, we'll see you later. God bless.